Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome. Saturday afternoon here in the UK. It's nice to be here. Thank you for joining me. Not been here before. I'm Richie, Longman Tarot, and I'm jumping on just to say hello, catch up with people. I've been away for a few days with my husband Peter, visiting different places in Shropshire, and I was planning to go live like I normally do on a Friday evening last night. But we were driving back and the weather was just hideous for driving in. So we decided we were going to take it slow and get back safely. So I wasn't in time to do my live that I would normally do. So that's why I thought I'd jump on today and just say hello to everyone and talk about what I've been doing. Some of the things I've bought. Fortunately, not too much. Not too much, I hasten to add, not too much. But I thought I'd like to share because part of the trip was to Avebury. And I'll share that with you. Yeah, I hope you're all doing really, really well. It's lovely to be here. It's quite nice to get on a Saturday afternoon. I say hello to a few people who are here. Sandra, my lovely, you're in first. Good to see you here. Hope you like what I bought from Avebury. I know that you were particularly excited to see what we got there. So, yeah, hello from Sandra. Lisa's here. Hello, Lisa. Good evening. Good evening. Good Saturday to everybody there. Yeah, you can't wait to hear about Avebury. It was wet. Let me say that to you, Sandra. No spoilers there. I'll explain all in a second there. It's good to see you, though. Redwing, hello to you, my lovely. Good to see you here. Jamie, my lovely. Good morning. From the land of mini vacation. Is that you or me? It's good to see you here. I hope you're doing very, very well. Maruta, hello. Welcome home. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was. I know you mentioned yesterday I had to put a post in to say I wasn't doing a live, and you commented. That's very kind of you. Checking in to make sure I was back okay. We were. It was hideous weather. In fact, we've had pretty hideous weather ever since Easter here in the UK, and I'll explain all later anyway there. Hello, Simon. Good to see you. Hope you're doing very well. Lovely to see you here. Hope you had a good Easter. Gina M, hello to you. And anyone else that I've missed? Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. Everyone's chatting. That's great. If I have missed you, I do apologise. And if you are going to be watching this on playback, hello and welcome. So, yeah, so Peter and I we're teachers, so we have 2 weeks off around the Easter holidays. So we had last week off and we were just getting ready. And actually what we did a lot of tidying and organising. And I've spent a lot of time reorganising areas where I bought some really nice stuff from Glastonbury in the past and bits and pieces and stuff online. And I actually kind of rearranged stuff and put stuff together. And one of the things, I've got it on a wall, I can't show you. I bought a thimble. You know, people that collect thimbles and they often have them on racks in little kind of square compartments. I bought one of those for £1 in a charity shop, and they are perfect for storing crystals in. So I've been doing things like that, having a bit of a tidy. Then we had Easter, and then this week we decided we were going to go away to Shropshire. And I've got some photos because you really probably don't want to sit here and listen to me rambling on about places. I thought it was quite nice perhaps to show some of them. So to give you a bit of an idea of where we went and some of the things we saw. And then I'll show you what I purchased, particularly from Avebury on the way there. Jamie says a mini vacation for me right now, and you're just returning. How long is your mini vacation, Jamie? And are you going anywhere beautiful and lovely for it? But it doesn't matter. It's way from work, isn't it? And time to enjoy it. So I love really short trips. And one of the things about the pandemic, I suppose, is we haven't been going abroad much. We've been holidaying in the UK. And there is so much of the UK that I just haven't seen and experienced. And that's been one of the joys, actually, of just being able to drive and just go places where you wouldn't normally go and just experience them. And you're only there for a short time. So even if you're not particularly liking the place you're at or the place you're staying at, you only have a few days there. So I do love a mini vacation. Sandra says, I have done a bit of tidying, got rid of quite a lot of, I did see a photo on Facebook of your pile of books, Sandra. I hope they all found a good home in the end. Hi, Hershey, sending everyone positive blessings and vibes. Lovely. And back to you, my darling. I hope you're doing okay then. There are so many lovely places in the UK, and we're very blessed when the weather's good. I'm going to keep banging on about the weather because, yeah, it was a bit of a thorn in my side to the whole thing. Hello, Debbie. Hello to you there. I hope you're doing well, and hello anyone that's watching. Thank you for joining us here. Jamie says, in about 3 days away in the Cascade Mountains, seeing a friend from high school in Germany. So, how fantastic! Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I hope you have a wonderful time catching up. How long is it since you've seen them? That'd be amazing. Brilliant. Fantastic. Hello to anyone as well that's joining us. Hi, everyone's saying hello in chat. I'm just going to have a quick sip of tea. I've got into, as you know, I haven't been having milk now for 6 weeks. So this tea looks a bit odd. You know that sometimes almond milk goes a bit frothy. Looks like it's got a scum on it. So I do apologize. Is it because it's almond milk? That's nice. Red Wing, I went to a pub moot last Saturday and you bought a Labradorite crystal drop from a street market. Oh my God, that sounds like a perfect day. That sounds to me like an absolute perfect day. You got to have a lovely mood, haven't you? I hope you had a great time there. So I'm just asking, how was your drive home, Simon? And Jamie says, we ran the Seattle Marathon together in 2017. She's here now to run another marathon tomorrow. Fantastic. Oh, my goodness. That's brilliant. Oh, well, so that's, 6 years, isn't it? 6 years, yeah. Well, I hope you have a fantastic catch-up. And I hope she does a good marathon run as well there. Oh, you've had a really good drive back. Roads. Really, the roads have been clear in the UK. I noticed that yesterday. Yeah, it's been actually all right driving. I say that I'm not a driver. Peter does all the driving. I just sit there and look at the lovely countryside. And I have to say one thing, even though it was like thick mist and rain yesterday, it was beautiful just looking at all the trees coming into blossom or beginning to leaf. And just driving down from Shropshire to Sussex, where I live, just wonderful to see the changes. It would have been nice on a sunny day, but we are very, very lucky here. So I hope everyone's doing okay. Yeah, I've got my mug out. This is Peter's mug. He got this as a birthday gift, and I quite like it. I think I'm going to use it for lives. It says, "Always be yourself, unless you can be a merman." Yeah. So sip, sip, and cheers to that one. I love the fresh green of the leaves at the moment. Everything is just that wonderful, different shades of green. It's always quite vibrant, the greens. It's like nothing's eaten any of the buds yet, and nothing's dried anything out. They haven't gone brown and, got diseased or fallen off. They're just fresh and gorgeous, aren't they? So, thank you. It is a cool mug there. Yep. So what I thought I'd do is I'll quickly just share with you the places we went, and I'll show you some of the photos because that makes a bit of sense. And then I'll show you the things we bought here. Okay, things we bought here. So I put them on a PowerPoint so I can just share them with you. So I'll quickly talk you through because I know some people here may not know exactly where places are. So let's do this. And I have to thank my wonderful husband, Peter, for doing this because I'm pretty good at PowerPoints as a teacher, but when I have to do them and do wonderful transitions and move things around and things like that, I can't manage that. And he does it perfectly. So I do not take at all any responsibility for this PowerPoint and how delicious it looks. James says, I need to go get my coffee today, scoping out the shops that Steve and I can walk to. Looking forward to your photos. Well, lovely to see you here. Take care. So the first one's Avebury. Now, Avebury is down south. It's near Stonehenge. And Avebury for us is always a really good stop off wherever we go. It's 2 hours roughly from where I live in Eastbourne. So anywhere that's down to Cornwall or anywhere that's going up to Wales or anywhere that's going up northwards, Avebury tends to be a good stop off point. And one of the other things that I absolutely love is it's Got a fantastic parking space. You can get out, you can stretch your legs. As you can see here, I've got the stones, the stone circle. There is the most fantastic pub in the middle of the stone circle village called the Red Lion. And it's always great to have a meal there, which is what we did. Yeah, so that's two reasons. And if you didn't need any more than that, the best reason to go for Avebury, apart from, of course, the beautiful stones, is the two wonderful shops that they've got there, which is the hen shop and the other one that I constantly forget. So I've fortunately got the receipt here because I can never remember. Elements of Avebury, that's what it's called. And apart from these two shops and a little tiny shop that just sells all sorts of odds and ends and food and bits and pieces, a bit of sort of everything, and a National Trust shop and the pub, that is pretty much it for Avebury. So that's what makes it so wonderful. Beautiful, wonderful place just to spend a stopover, or you can spend, you can pretty much spend most of the day there if the weather was good, picnicking, walking around the area. There's the not just the stone circle, but there's the lots of other barrows, and I can't remember what the names of some of them are now, but in the landscape around there, there's simply wonderful places to go. So it's a perfect place, and we decided to book that into our stopover. I know you do. I love Avebury, and what I love, Gina loves the Avebury as well. The weather, I wanted to walk around the stone circle. I got 2 or 3 stones in where this photo was taken, Simon. My umbrella was literally blowing inside out. The rain was horizontal. I took this one photo and I was like, I'm really sorry, Stone Circle universe, but I am not going to walk around you today. It was a complete mud quagmire marsh. I literally took this photo and then ran to get back to the car because, yeah, it was foul weather. And unfortunately, the weather was like that all day traveling up to Shropshire as well. So the Red Lion pub is a fantastic pub, and it is haunted. And they are very proud of their ghost. In fact, actually, it's a woman from the Civil War. They had a big notice they've now made on the wall talking about how friendly she is. And apparently, I think the story is that while her husband was at war, she had a bit of a dalliance, let's put it that way, and he came back, found out, and apparently killed her and threw her down the well. And there is still the well there, and you can sit at a table that is made at the well. It's got a glass top, and you can actually look down the well there. So that's the ghost, I believe, of the woman in the pub there. But apparently she's very friendly, which is nice. You gotta love the hen shop, haven't you? You got to. I'll explain all when we get to it. But yeah, if you've never been, perfect place there. And there is a manor house, and they've just reopened the manor house, which has been closed for a little while there. So that was good. We didn't have time to go around that because we had to get to Shropshire. So that was our kind of stopover before we got there. So I'm just going to explain what we did for the rest of the journey. Are you going to move on? Yeah, here we go. So just to put an idea where we are, that's where we went, Shropshire, that part that's just west of Birmingham. And we stayed at a place called Ludlow, which I've never been to before, which has got these wonderful, huge castle, which I'll show you in a minute. But there's lots of wonderful places around there. It's very near Worcester, Telford, Shrewsbury. Birmingham is the main city. Wolverhampton is nearby. And of course, it's very near the Welsh border, which is why we went there, because we haven't really done much of Wales. Anyway, first day we went to a place called Berrington Hall. Now, these aren't my photos. Again, it was torrential rain free. I have never felt so cold before in my life. It was about 3 degrees Celsius. So I had to take these photos off the internet, so I've given credit to people there. But what they have got is this fantastic 18th century dress that they've put back together, and they're very, very proud of this. It's called a mantua dress. It was bought in an auction, and you can see how they recreate it, and you can also see the ridiculous size of this dress. And a lot of the House of Berrington Hall is of the same period, and they're very proud of this dress. I think it's the only one in the world original. And they spent a lot of the exhibition explaining about it there. It is really, really beautiful. It's all satin and silk and gold thread. And I don't think you could probably tell off this photograph, but the left arm on this photograph, as you look at it, they didn't have the sleeve for it, and they recreated the fabric by printing a photograph of the fabric onto it. So the left arm's the only bit that isn't original. The rest of it all is. And I mean, if you think about it, probably 200, 250 odd years or more. Oh, it's just incredible. But a ridiculous fashion. It's very interesting. They talked about how long ladies spent dressing in the mornings, and they would often get dressed 2 or 3 times during the day into different outfits. Just the metalwork underneath that dress to keep it all in place was fantastic. It is beautiful. Hello, Chris. Good to see you here. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Yeah. So after that, we went the next day to Croft Castle. Now, Croft Castle is, again, it didn't look like this. Actually, this is actually my photograph. So the sun did come out very, very briefly. It was sunshine and showers. And this is a really lovely place. It's part of the National Trust. So in the UK, we have the National Trust, and now they have similar schemes elsewhere in the world where the National Trust will buy up historic places and look after them. And this is a National Trust here. That was Berrington. And then went to this wonderful place called Stokesay Castle on the next day. And this is the Gatehouse Stokesay Castle. It's one of those kind of Elizabethan manor houses, but was fantastic. Oh, lovely bit of animation there, Peter. And again, lots of turrets and lots of things to explore, lots of uneven floorboards. This was English heritage. And I do like English heritage. English heritage is similar to the National Trust. But they tend to look, English heritage tend to, right, whereas National Trust tend to sort of look after houses and buildings like that, English heritage tend to do more things in landscapes, I suppose, more not necessarily run down stuff, but they would look after, well, Stonehenge is a good example. So they look at things like stone circles and Roman villas and as a stone circle. Dover Castle is one of the, Stonehenge is, but they have all sorts of other things, not just big country houses. And they also had a 20% sale on in the gift shop, which is always great. So that's oh, what we got going on here? What the fuck is the blower? Sounds interesting. You should probably give. Have I missed something? Oh, I see. It's on the blower. Oh, okay. It's on the phone. There you go. Should you have missed it? On the blower. I came in halfway through that conversation. Okay, where do we go to next? So next up, we went to Mitchell's Fold Stone Circle. So a beautiful stone circle. A lot of it has unfortunately been pushed over, restood up, or taken away. So it's a bit of a shame. It didn't have the energy vibes of somewhere like Avebury or Stonehenge or some of the other stone circles. It just felt a little bit drained, a little bit sad, a little bit. However, it is in beautiful countryside looking over the Welsh hills and mountains. And you can see, this is the photo I took, you can see that the clouds were very dramatic. So when it comes to dramatic photographs for things happening, then this was it. And you can just make out there is a bit of a stone circle there. There's one upright and a lot of them have fallen over there. So it's a bit of a shame that they haven't been looked after. There is, however, this sounds quite cool. So this is just near the Welsh border. If you can see that little house just up on the right of the photo, that's called the Druid B&B. And there's a little B&B. It is, I mean, this place is really off the grid when it comes to being near anything. And it looks really nice as a little B&B. Could you imagine staying there and just going for walks and just sort of being with the stones? And that'd be fantastic. However, it was freezing and very, very windy. So you'd have to be well prepared with your clothing for that one there. So here's a few more pictures of Mitchell's Fold Stone Circle. You see the sun did come out there. Like I only found out recently that a glory hole is a name for the cupboard under the stairs. I'm not entering that conversation. I'll let you two have that one. Okay, where do we go to next? Wroxeter, Roman City. And yeah, again, it would have been fantastic if the weather had been better. Wroxeter's fantastic. It's a whole Roman city. Most of it's under the ground still, but there are parts of it, like the big bath suite here, that they uncovered. So you can see it here. You can see the hypercaust floors going on there. Freezing cold again. So we had a quick jaunt round it and then got back in the car. But then on the last day, we went to Ludlow Castle. And Ludlow Castle is amazing. I mean, the only way I can describe Ludlow Castle is if you asked a child to draw a picture of what they thought a castle would be, it would pretty much be what Ludlow Castle is. As you can see, it's got towers, it's got lots of gateways, it's got a big keep, it's got a moat, it's got a well, it's got a dungeon, it's got funny little passageways that go off everywhere, and it's in, for a castle, let's be honest, it's in a really quite good nick, because most castles I visited, there tends to be a bit of a stone wall that's fallen down, and that is pretty much it. You can see this does look like a castle. And to be fair, if there was if you needed to go to a castle, Ludlow Castle is the one I would go to if you were feeling like you're going to get besieged. It feels like it could still stand up against, an army invading it. But it was wonderful. It's really high. I am not good with heights. Peter is not good with heights. So it goes up. You can go up staircases to about the 3rd floor, which is a little bit, made you feel a bit giddy. But it is a really, really wonderful, wonderful place. There's an adult-themed miniature gun. You too. Let's pick with Sandra. That looks very cool, Ludlow Castle. Yeah. I like it. To say you're only a 6-hour drive with Chris, the cultural difference. It truly is you two, isn't it? So that was pretty much it. So that's Ludlow. Ludlow's a very nice town. We went to other places as well while we were there. And then we ended up by going to Boscobel House and the Royal Oak on the way back yesterday. And Boscobel House is, again, Elizabethan. I don't actually got any photos of it, but it is the house that Charles II, let me get this bit right. Charles II, when he came back to England, about to be put back on the throne, there was a battle between him and the Puritan army. I think I'm getting this right. The Battle of Worcester, which Charles II lost. He obviously then went on to then win other battles because he became Charles II. But this was a house that he hid in. And actually, this oak tree is what apparently he hid in when the soldiers were looking for him after the War of Worcester. And this isn't actually the original oak. It's a seedling that was grown 200 years ago from the original oak. But this is what's called the Royal Oak. And it's apparently the tree that Charles II hid in to escape the armies looking for him. And that's why a load of pubs in the UK are called the Royal Oak and Crown, something like that, because it was named after this oak tree. And it's quite a cool place to go and visit. Yeah, it's oh, hi, popping and say all the lovely people. How nice. Hi, Ange. Good to see you here. I hope you have an amazing weekend. So, hello, Jane. Good to see you as well. I need to watch later. My phone isn't doing the photos justice. Oh, bless you. Okay. Red Wing said Ludlow and surrounding areas feature many of the Phil Rickman excellent book. I didn't know that. Oh, thanks for that. I didn't know that one there. It's loads of wonderful places around there. Yeah. Hello, anyone popping in. Good to see you here. Jane says hi, everyone. Yeah, and one of the things they got is you get given this candle, as you can see, as I creepily go around the top floor where Charles II lived, and you put your candle down on certain places where there's a symbol, and it activates something in the room. So it might activate some sound effects, or it might activate a little video, or something like that happens, or something that happened in that room to do with Charles II. So it was quite fun, quite fun. So I quite like the mysterious candle photograph there. So that was basically it. I'm going to stop sharing that screen now. Let's move back again. So you can see we had 3 wonderful days, apart from the weather, 3 lovely days just eating, walking, exploring, doing touristy things, and the like of that, really. So yeah. So just catching up on the chat. Hello, Gina. If you were talking to me, then you did, Jane. Hope you're doing all right, Chris. Yeah. So let's go back to some of the things that I bought. And actually, I did really well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I bought first before we, not the Avebury stuff. So, as many of you know, I'm keen on my trees and understanding trees and the natural world around me. So I bought some books to do with trees. Fair enough. Now I've got an app on my phone that you take a photo of the bark or the leaves of a tree or the blossom or whatever of it, the fruit, and it kind of searches like a Wikipedia version of it, matching people's photos up, so you can kind of identify what the tree is if you're not sure what it is. And it's brilliant. It's really, really good. But unfortunately, it's because it relies on the internet. Sometimes when you're out in nature, the internet is just not available. And so I bought myself a little book. Now, these little books are really famous in the UK, Collins Gems. And it's a really good little book because it's pocket size, and it just got a page for each of the trees. It's got all the tree looks like bark-wise, the branches, the leaves, and kind of what it is. And it's just really, really, really cool. So I was really pleased by that one. Not forgetting it came from an English Heritage. And English Heritage, we got 20% off. So I saved myself £1.20 on that one. So I was quite pleased with myself on that one there. In another of the English Heritage shops, I bought this book, which is The Forager's Calendar by John Wright. Now, this book I've been really looking at for probably up to a year. Every time I go into an independent bookshop or somewhere I see it, I keep picking it up, looking at it and going, I don't know, I'm putting it back on the shelf. But of course, this was in English Heritage Bookshop, 20% off. It was even cheaper than if you bought it on Amazon. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to get that. Original price is $12.99. You have to take 20% off. I'll let you do the math on that one there. But this is a fantastic book because it covers each month of the year. Let's see if I can find let's read the back of it here. A month-by-month handbook for foraging in the woods, fields and seashores of Great Britain. From dandelions in springs to sloe berries in autumn, via wild garlic, samphire, chanterelles and even grasshoppers. So it's got some insects in here as well. Our countryside is full of edible delights in any season. And so this book just goes through. Find a good example. Wild garlic, because wild garlic is big in the UK right now. It's the month. So it's got each month, and it tells you basically what you would find when it leaves, when it flowers, and just a lot about it. Obviously, reminding you about safety and stuff like that one there. It hasn't got recipes or anything like that, but it's just a really handy book. And again, what I like about this, not that I've ever done this, but because I live near the sea, it's also got seaweed in here because you can eat loads and loads of seaweed. In fact, seaweed has become a really popular thing to dry and have in shakes and things like that in the mornings. And so there's a huge section here each month of what to pick and when to pick it. And I think that's important. You've got to know when to pick it and when's the right time to do it. So I'm really interested to see what comes out each month. Oh yeah, black garden ants. Possibly won't be eating the invertebrates. I have to be honest. Won't be going for that one there. But it's interesting. They've also got fungi. So chicken of the woods is one of the famous ones that you can see on a tree. I'm always very careful though. I have to be honest. I'm not. I always see mushrooms and think, oh, should I pick it? And I go, I'm not 100%. And of course, when you're not 100% sure on any of these things, you shouldn't really, should you? I know there are some very nasty fungi out there that can kill you quite quickly. So I've been moving away from the fungi, but there is loads of stuff on trees. You can make a really nice, what tree is it at the moment? Birch. Birch, I think. Birch vodka and birch gin in the next few weeks. We can cut the young leaves off and soak them in vodka or gin, and then distill them into another gin bottle. Add on more gin. Apparently, it makes it go really green and lush. So I might be trying that one there. Some leaves and down. Absolutely, yeah. Only pick what you need. That's what I always say. Spirulina. Thank you, Maruta. Thank you very much. Crispy seaweed crisps as well. Yes. Loads of stuff. Sushi rolls, seaweed forever. Yeah, the only problem is we've had a bit of an issue. I think it's around mainly the coast of the UK, but it's particularly down on the south coast with the water companies flushing sewage into the seas. And I'm sorry, that's a really horrible discussion to have, but it's an important one to have. Because of where we've had last summer a drought, and then a real sudden huge amount of rainwater. Unfortunately, the water system in this country is based on a lot of Victorian sewers and plumbing. And what it doesn't cope with is sewage and heavy rainfall. And so apparently what the water companies need to do is if we're going to have a lot of rain, is to flush the system through very quickly into the sea. Oh my God, the problems that has caused. We've had to close the beaches. People obviously warned not to swim. I mean, God knows what it's doing to the wildlife. There's quite a big thing actually in the UK at the moment. Lots of petitions, lots of fines. It's a big hot topic. So bearing in mind all of that, I doubt very much I would probably eat the seaweed this year or for a couple of years until we're a bit more familiar with what's happening there. So yeah, it's really sad because I would love to. Well, I'd love to be able to go in the sea more, but right now it's not something that appeals to me this summer. Red wing, I love wild garlic. Ramsons, you can wrap cheese in. I love wild garlic. I like making a pesto out of it there. Yeah. Sandra, your brother's really good at foraging and knows what to pick. That's the secret, and that's what now let's just clear up that I am not going to go with a big bag every day, you know, replenishing my larder. But I'm really interested in finding stuff in season and trying it to see what the benefits of it are. Yeah, I think it's really interesting, and there's a lot of stuff about it at the moment. So yeah, hi there, Beth. Hi there. Good to see you here. It does sound like a bad situation. Yeah, absolutely. I'm making soup. Fantastic. Lovely veg and bacon soup. Oh, very nice too. It's a nice crusty bread. Yeah, so that was the other thing I bought from Ludlow. If they had a wonderful market, there's lots of things I could have bought, but I bought this. I bought some proper wax furniture polish from an apiary beekeeper there. And I like to do, just when I do a lot of work with wood and stuff like that and wands, I actually like to use proper wax polish on that one rather than something the shop bought. So I bought that one there. So there we go. Yeah, of course, not the small amounts. It's fine, absolutely. Yeah. So then we're coming on to the haul. I don't like the word haul. I don't know if I like the word haul or not. It wasn't so much a haul; it was more of a lucky dip into the Avebury shops. So let's show you what you got. What I got. Let's talk crystals first, shall we? So I've got this wonderful thimble display rack thing. So I've got some gaps that needed filling in there, so I decided I'm going to do that. So hang on, what did I buy? Okay. Yeah. So I can't remember which of the shops I bought them in because I took them all out of the bag because I wanted to wash them and cleanse them and put them. So I got, which one was it? I don't remember. I got a piece of ametrine, which I haven't ever had before, which is quite exciting. Let's see if we can get that on. That's a really nice piece. And I wasn't quite sure what ametrine was until I looked it up. And of course, it's citrine and amethyst, obvious by the name, really. So I'm really looking forward to that one. It's really quite clear. I've got a piece of white paper here. Let's hold it up and see whether that's going to help show this off a bit better. I don't know. Let's give it a go. I think you can see there's some inclusions in that there. There's a purpley hint, isn't there? So that's quite exciting, and it feels really, really nice. So that was ametrine. The next is a stone I got so excited about because I've never heard of it before. And it's a piece of merlinite. Or merlinite. And I love it for the fact it's called after Merlin. Come on now. Oh, is the camera going to pick it up? Let's see if we can. And it's banded. And merlinite is manganese oxide. Yeah, manganese or magnesium oxide. I can't remember which one. Anyway, it's got an oxide in that makes it color. And the camera's not picking it up, but you've got really nice bands of grey and almost clear, not clear, but clear grey. It's almost like, it feels like an onyx, but it's not. And merlinite apparently was discovered only 20 odd 30 years ago, and it was discovered in South America, and then it was discovered that the UK had some, particularly Cornwall area, hence why it got the name of merlinite. And it's really, really lovely. So yeah, right, let's see what people are saying. Lovely. Hi, Carla. Good to see you here. Call them your treasures. Yeah, I will call them treasures. I think I like that one better there. Lovely. Yeah, we like a bit of that. Very nice piece, isn't it, Maruta? Absolutely. Yeah. And merlinite's lovely. What colour is that merlinite? I've got about two different screens on, and it's grey, it's brown, it's got bands on it. I'll try and take a photo and post it on. It really doesn't pick it up on the camera though. Just trying to get a good side to it. Hopefully you're getting it. The way I've described it's the grey of labradorite. If you know what labradorite looks like when it's in its natural non-shiny state, it looks like that with some brown inclusion in it and some white inclusion. That's the best way I can describe it. Dendritic. Oh, that's difficult. So dendritic opal. Oh, there you go. It's like a vegetable massacre when she has mine. Oh, look, carrots. I'll talk about carrots and peppers and broccoli. I'm with you, Chris. Sorry, I saw the word massacre there and wonder what's going on. Okay, so that's that. I picked up a piece of stone from the stone circle. I did not chip this off the stones, by the way. I just happened to be on the hillside there. I don't know. I need to have a little bit a look to see what the local stone is there. But it feels really nice, and it was really warm as well when I picked it up. Bearing in mind it was a freezing cold day, so I'm going to have a little look at what the stone is around that area, and I can have a look there. And then these other crystals I didn't buy in Avebury, but I bought in Ludlow, And so the first one is a one for vitality. It's bronxite, which is really, again, something I haven't seen before. It looks black against the white paper, but it's almost like a jasper, but it's browny red. And I saw this in the box, and like sometimes, people say, oh, crystals call you. And I've gone, not quite sure about that one. This one was kind of rattling when I looked at it, and I thought, yeah, I need to have a piece of this one. So that's bronxite. It's lovely to get a piece of natural stone if you find, yeah. There. So that was bronxite. And the other one is something I hadn't got a piece of before. And for some reason, I ended up with two presiolite. And I really liked the white bands in this one. So presiolite is kind of green, but it's got these lovely white inclusions in it. And apparently, strong energy amplifier. We'll need that going back to work next week. Promotes originality and self-expression. Encouraging one to confidently share their talents with others. Oh, there you go. So I've got two pieces of that one there. And again, it's got a real onyxy feel to it. But I just really liked how these bits were. So again, they are going to be cleansed. Got the cards that go with them. I love it when you get a card in these shops. It makes life so much simpler. So that was the crystals. That's the crystals in. Don't eat cheese. Oh God, you poor deprived person. You've got some bronzite too. Bronzite is apparently vitality. Let's read it out. Promotes energy to combat tiredness, aids physical protection, helps anxiety, depression, bringing peace and calm. There you go. So that was that. Right. Now let's do the shop. Should we do them in order of what? Yeah, let's do them in the order I bought them in. Let's move that halfway. So this came from the other shop in Avebury, which is called Elements of Avebury. Now, one of the reasons I love Avebury. I mean, who doesn't love Avebury? I'm going to prove it. Like I said, beautiful. It's got the stones. Fantastic. Really good pub. Easy to park. Nice stretchy legs. But they've got these two shops. So they've got the Hen Shop and Elements of Avebury, which are carry a lot of stuff that Glastonbury would carry. Now, bear in mind, Avebury from Glastonbury is about another 2 hours. It's really handy for me to stop off at Avebury and pick up stuff because Elements of Avebury carry a lot of the stuff that's bits that Starchild in Glastonbury makes. So they sell incense, candles, incense, like I said, some of the oils that Starchild makes. And so rather than going all the way to Glastonbury, another 2 hours on, I can just pop in and pick up some stuff that I wanted there. So that was the idea. And it is a lovely village. Yeah. So here we go. I bought firstly. Now, these are all smelly stuff. So, of course, I will do my best. My favourite incense. Now, I have got so much incense. And I do blame Sandra for this, actually, because Sandra loves buying incense. And I love buying incense with Sandra. And so this year I am clearing down the incense because I've got a drawer full of the stuff. Okay. However, I have now got about 3 or 4 of my favorite scents from Sacha. And this is one of my absolute favorites. And I couldn't remember at the time whether I had this. So I bought myself another box of it, Tree of Life. So this is one of my favorite Dragon's Blood, one of my favorite spicy patchouli, and I think there is rainforest as well. They are my favorite scent. So I'm going to whittle everything else down and get rid of it and use it and just keep 4 or 5 of my favorite incense sticks in store for all occasions. So this one is one of my favorites. There we go. Oh, I haven't tried that one. I mean, it's quite sweet. What it doesn't have, I'm really not very good at stuff that's got a lot of nag champa in it. And this doesn't, but it's really sweet and it's really nice. What does the tree of life smell like? It smells like this. It's sweet. It's got a. It doesn't say what the smells are on this. I wish I could. I wish I could read it to you. It's like a very sweet frankincense. It's the only way I can describe it, and it's got a woody tone. I hate trying to describe smells to people. I haven't tried the Japanese incense. It's subtle scents and loads. Well, this is the thing. I have got more into loose incense, which I'll show you in a second. But I have, over the winter, it's been a particularly cold winter in the UK, as you know. And I live in quite a drafty flat. Those windows over there are 3 meters tall. They are very old Victorian sash windows that let in an awful lot of draft. So what I did is I bought the stuff that you put over your windows and then you heat it up and it keeps, and it's been fantastic at keeping this room warmer. The only downside to that is I haven't been able to open the windows because that would tear the plastic on it. I do not like incense unless I've got a draft going through. Firstly, I've got a smoke detector. Secondly, the cats, I don't expect them to have to breathe in that smoke. And so until I can actually open the windows and get a good airflow going through, I won't use any incense there. So that's my. So I've tended to use oils a little bit more. I don't know if you can see just behind my head. Which way is it? There, that blue oil burner. I've got some nice sandalwood going in, sandalwood oil going in now, and I just think that's a bit more subtler, a bit more safer as well there. So you love things with nag champa in. Japanese incense is lovely. Yeah, I'll have to give it a go. Give anything a go though. Beth says, I love nag champa. It's a wonderful scent. Some people, yeah, anything that's really heavy in it makes my eyes sting. And I've got some that's really heavy. There's one called Sunflower or Sunrise that they do, and I can't bear it. I have to light it outside and just. Carla says, when I lived in Boston, I used that plastic string. It does work a treat. It's really kept the room certainly a lot more toastier. Well, at least the heating isn't leaching through the gaps. Let's put it through that way. We're not getting the drafts in there. No, Rita says, I'm a nag champa fan too. Go on, you go and do that, Beth. You go and light it up now. We'll wait for you. Red Wing says, I was introduced to Japanese incense in a Buddhist temple. Doesn't choke you when chanting. Well, that's practical. I like it. Okay, so that was that. So then I bought some more of these because there's no shops around here that sell charcoal discs. And buying them through the post, they often get cracked or broken there. Hi, Madwich. Good to see you here. Giselle, good to see you. When I got a really heavy incense, I take it outside too. Yeah. I tend to put it on, open a window, put it in like a window box so that it will blow in, but it doesn't create that whole smoky environment. Yes. So what I then bought is remember, this is from the hen shop. I bought 3 jars of Star Child loose incense. Yeah, use sprays too. No smoke, wonderful cleansing. Good idea. Yeah, I've got a couple of sprays there, Beth. I always forget to use them. I think the one I've got is Yule, so it doesn't seem to be the right time to be using it. Okay, so there's 3. Now, these are exactly the same price that you would buy them in Star Child as well, so they haven't bumped the prices up. And which is $5.99. in the UK. So yeah, Star Child is the shop in Glastonbury that makes all of this loose incense. And I do like their incense. I like the Sons of Asgard incense, but I find that Star Child is a bit more punchy. I have to be honest when it comes to the smell. So this one is Merlin, to go with the Merlin night. Oh, right. Oh my God, you could drink that. That didn't want to. So it's really spicy. There's a lot of frankincense. It's very mossy and it's quite perfumey. And I don't know what the perfume is that they use in it. But it's really, it's got almost like a eucalyptus in there. You can feel it clearing your sinuses out. So yeah, that was one that I bought. The other one was Spirit. I didn't realise that they had little symbols on each of the labels. Tell you like the planetary, astrological link and other bits and pieces there. So this is Spirit. Right. Oh, that's very aniseedy. So if you like aniseed, that's a bit more subtler. It's like a bit like wine tasting. You're trying to, but it's got quite an earthy smell to it. But I mean, it's called Spirit, and I can feel it. It's being up here, and that makes some sense. It does. It really has got a sense of outer bodiness. Yeah. So that's that one there. Yeah. It is loose incense. Yeah. So yeah. So I bought the discs, £1 or something, and you get 10 or however many in there. Again, I don't light it in the house because it really would just set my smoke detectors off, and we don't want to do that on that. But it's really nice to take outside, perhaps in the summer, bit of it outdoor meditation, that kind of thing. And the last one is Sun. And I thought this would be perfect for the coming of the summer months. And that's really light, and there's a lot of, it's almost got like a frangipane or a marshmallowy kind of lightness to it all. It's really nice. It's very warming. It's got a bit of a, not necessarily citrus, but I would say something like a spice in there. It's got a bit of a kick to it. They are all very different. That was one of the things I wanted when I bought all three of these, is I didn't want incenses that smell very much the same. I wanted ones that I would be able to use at different times. And I don't tend to be, don't tend to be swayed by what they call them, but it just so happened the names were really important. And I mean, you can see the colors. That one's the Sun one. So you can see it's got lots of yellows and browns in here. The Spirit one, I think there's lavender actually in there. Look, yeah, there's quite a lot of lavender in there. So that's, again, one of the senses that goes with the Spirit, which makes sense there. And the Merlin one, it's much more darker and soil-like. And there's a lot of wood in there. I don't know what tree. It doesn't say what each one is. I mean, I'm sure on the website they would have a bit more of a description there. So those were the three: Merlin, Sun, and Spirit. So that was what I bought there. And I also bought something else in there. So this is still Elements of Avebury. And I completely forgot I bought this. I know you love your loose incense, Sandra. Yeah, I just love the good smells. Absolutely. Red Wing says he used to be a big church supplies shop in Edinburgh, sold loose incense and had a kilogram back. Wow. Oh, it's sad what it used to be in that one, isn't it? It's a shame it's not there anymore. Oh, Beth says, I find that smells really have an effect on my mood. Really quickly can change it up, kind of. You're absolutely. And by lighting it up and just the ritual of lighting something up and just it slows me down and makes me stop and makes me be a bit more reflective as well. And I think that's one of the things about it all, isn't it? It should be slightly ritualistic. It should be, this is a special moment. And I have a meditation spray from Sons of Asgard, and it's so good if my anxiety. I'm so pleased that helps you there. Yeah. Pink Nash is wonderful, isn't it, Red Wing? Yeah. Giselle said, I loved the old Star Child shop. It's so magical. I must go there soon. Again, it is a beautiful, wonderful shop. And I can spend a fortune in there as well, which is why it's nice to go to the Avebury one, where there's a very limited amount. But if you know you're going to buy something, you always find what you want there, yeah. The lovely door. Yeah, absolutely. And they've always got that wonderful incense burning outside that just flows along the high street. You know when you've got near Star Child, don't you? You can smell it. Yeah, easy way to self-soothe. Yeah, that's right. The old one used to be in the alleyway. It's now the Tantra shop, but they've now got their massive shop on the high street. Yeah, just a few doors up from Sons of Asgard. Taking Simon of the Crystal Arch for the first time. That's beautiful. Lovely memory. Has it much changed over the years? Yeah. To be honest with you, I only went into it once when it was in its old place. I've been into it a couple of times in the new place. It just seems a bit bigger. I think they carry pretty much the same stock, but just more of it, a bit more spread out. I don't know. It feels a bit more like an old apothecary shop where you've got different sections laid out. I don't know if someone else can explain it better. That would be good. A lovely memory. We were enabled each other that day. You're quite right. The first thing you get in Glastonbury is the scent of their incense. Yeah, the smell of Glastonbury. Absolutely. You know, when you're car in Glastonbury, exactly where you are. Hi, Gerald. Good to see you there. You're doing very well, my friend. We've just been smelling incenses. So there we go. Right. So this is the last thing I bought from Elements of Avebury. No surprise, it's in blue paper, so it comes from Star Child as well. And I just thought, I need this for the summer. I need this for the Green Man. So I bought myself a frothy candle with a lovely purpley blue inner. And again, it's the same price, £3.50, £3.60 from, from. So I'm just looking at cats doing something over there. Oh. Yeah, so it's the same price as it would be from Glastonbury Star Child, but you don't have to go quite as far there. So that is Elements of Avebury. That's the shop that's right opposite the pub in Avebury, the Red Lion. And it's really lovely to go. Lovely to go. They've got a fantastic crystal selection out the back. There's a whole room that's just lots of different crystals, big crystals and tumbles as well. Absolutely in my element there as well. Simon loves a frothy candle. Yeah, thought it was a good cucumber. Yeah, I bought a cucumber. No, it's a frothy candle. I went to Avebury and bought a cucumber. I don't think there's even a shop in Avebury that you could actually buy fruit and veg in, actually. Just having a late breakfast for getting on my tasks. Well, enjoy. And that's not a euphemism. Made me laugh. Right. Oh, dear. Yeah, Note to self, sounds like credit card at the ready. I imagine people doing the mum's dance in the street slow. Yeah. So that was that. Let me just pack that away. What have I done with the bag for it? Oh, there. So that is elements of Avebury. That is a card with their details in there. They do have a website, so check it out. And they have got a lot of local artist stuff in there, as well as other artists and prints that you could buy from stuff. But yeah, loads of and lots of jewelry as well, and gemstones and all that kind of stuff, all that wonderful stuff. They do sell decks, but not many. They tend to be oracle decks in there. And what else do they sell? Just things like they have like handcrafted bowls. They have and other designs, all sorts of things. But it tends to be a bit more. I might be wrong by saying this. It tends to be a bit more artisanal kind of jewelry making and bits like that are there. Yeah, lots of credit cards as Giselle. How are you enjoying your new decks, Sandra? I'm loving them. Woodland Wardens, an intuitive night goddess. Absolutely. That's a fucked in a chance, son. I missed the. Yeah, you missed it. We're wondering where. Okay, so the last bit coming up. So this now is the hen shop. How are we doing for this one? Perfect. So the hen shop is. It's my mothership. I love Glastonbury. Don't get me wrong. But if you could take a lot of the things that I like about Glastonbury and put them all into one shop, then it's the hen shop. It's a really old cottage that's been extended, so it's in different sections. So you walk in and they've got things like musical instruments and clothing and incense and bags and scarves and hats and things like that. You go into the next section and it's jewelry and statues and ornaments and things that were beautifully made, handmade. The next section is kind of gifts and crafts, and throughout the whole shop they've got stacks and stacks and stacks of greetings cards, which is one of the reasons I love going there. And then the next section is a huge book section, and a few tarot decks, a few oracle decks, but not massive amount, I'll be honest with you. But the books section is something to just divine. And then the final section is a whole crystal shop, which is tumbles, big pieces, fossils. And you'll get stones there that you probably wouldn't find in other major or other shops, because they have things like Preseli stone in there, other bits of geological stones rather than just tumble stones. They've also got an area at the back which sells crystal skulls. So take your credit card there. It's just wonderful, and just really lovely and really friendly staff in there. So yeah, frothy cat. Oh, Chris, lot of love for it. Lot of love there. Boom, boom. It is very swift. However, go on a day when it's pissing down with rain, Sandra, because Avebury is pretty deserted. Most of the people are in the pub. So yeah, it was. I had the thing to myself. The only thing I'll say, if you're tall like me, watch your head. You are constantly going to be banging your head on the ceiling and the beams there. Hen shop. I thought you were saying the hen shop. Henge shop. There we go. Right, so what did I buy here? So like I said, they sell a lot of gifts. So I did pick up those stones that I showed you earlier. So, okay, hopefully it won't get me taken off YouTube, but I needed to have a postcard of the Cern Abbot Giant. So there we go. And I thought that was a fitting postcard to have around for Beltane. So there we go. So When I went to see the Stone Abbey, I couldn't get a really good photo. It's a bit of a funny angle on the hillside. So there we go. So there you go. Knock yourself out, Chris. Go on, go on. What can you come up with? Bang your head and wake your dead. There you go. I like that. I also thought he was saying the hen shop. Made sense to me, but the henge worked too. And Giselle's hubby keeps promising to take me there, but I haven't got there yet. Oh, incoming cat. Yeah. Right, what else? So again, really lovely cards that I just like to have around. So I've got this one here, which is by Wendy Andrew, which I haven't seen before. This picture, sorry, it's in plastic still. I didn't take it out. As you know, I'm a Glastonbury Unity Candle Ambassador, so I do my Monday sessions, and I like to have cards around the candle when I'm doing it, and so opportunity to. I like the fact we've got the rabbits circling the moon there. Really lovely. What else did I buy? Yes, I bought this. Now, this has fascinated me. It's another Wendy Andrew. It's the Water Goddess card. Now, the reason I wanted this, there's loads in the series, as I'm sure you've either seen or can imagine. The reason I wanted this is that I'm really interested in this summer doing some work with creating something from the bits from the sea, shells, bits of wood and stuff like that, perhaps in a sculpture or perhaps in a journal. And so I thought this would be a good start to kind of focus on and have a look at it there. So quite a nice card, like the blues in it. So that was that. Yeah, Basil, he's there. He hasn't jumped on. He's a bit miffed. The cats are both a bit pissed off that we went away and left them, but they'll be back to normal soon. And then I got this card. Now, as you know, Candy and I are doing our bit of journaling. My journaling my journal is based on trees, and I wanted this to put inside the journal. So it's our Celtic tree of life. But I really liked this one. I like the colours around the edges. I just thought that worked beautifully. So that's going to go in my book. So that's what the 3 cards were. And then I bought a couple of books. So the first book I bought was Elements of Change, the Glennie Kindred. As you know, I love Glennie Kindred. I love all of her books. I don't have all of her books yet, but she's written an awful lot. And she also does these small, they are books, but they're kind of pamphlet-y kind of books, which often sum up the major parts of her bigger books. That's how I'm going to describe it here. And so I bought this one. It was $6.99. It's a guide to the transformational alchemy of each of the 5 elements of life. It connects us to our growing consciousness of unity and the interconnected web of life. It includes many ideas from creating change, both from the inside and in the daily lives. As we change ourselves, we change the world, as all things are connected. It includes how to make of use a set of elemental heartstones with interpretations for each stone. It's a great colour, purpley blue. I really like the font as well, and Glennie does a lot of the illustrations that are in there. I think there's about 5 or 6 in this set. I've got a couple of them, and they're just great books to just have on the shelf and just make reference on, rather than having to plow through a huge tome or 2. Oh, bye, Chris. Yeah, we did have someone come in on a couple of days just to pet them and make a fuss of them, but you know what cats are like. Giselle says, years ago, the lady who owns the Happy Glastonbury wanted me to make a fabric goddess picture to go with hers, but I never finished one. Maybe one day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think, Sandra, you're the one that introduced me to these books. Sandra made me do it. Yeah. So, really recommend them. And so the last thing, and this is a bit of a bargain because this was originally be $14.99. It's Philip Cargom, The Druid Mysteries, Ancient Wisdom for the 21st Century. Like I said, in the shop, they've got certain areas, and in the book section, they've got it really well divided up so you can go and find pretty much what you wanted there. And I just looked at this. Now, I have the Druid animal deck, and a lot of its other stuff as well. The trees and the plants oracle, and I just wanted to read a bit more, and it's something that's really beginning to fascinate me, the idea of druidism and that kind of thing. And so I wanted to just learn a little bit more about it before sort of jumping in even deeper. So I don't tend to buy books like this because I probably get them on Kindle, but I read the back of it. The spiritual path of the Druids leads us through the beauty and richness of nature to the wild places of the heart. Ancient teachings of the Druid represent one of the wellsprings of inspiration of the Western traditional spiritual tradition. So, what it's got in it: the ancient history of the Druids and its relevance to our lives today, the separate order of bards, ovids, and Druids and their roles, seasonal ceremonies and Druidic concepts of time and place, Druid circles and stones, ties in very nicely, trackways and stars, the secrets of Druid tree and animal law, perfect, and the relationship between Druidry and Wicca. It's kind of everything that I've really been asking and thinking about in one book. So this is $14.99. But when I went to open the book, it hadn't been cut. The pages hadn't been cut properly, as you can see here along the top. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of stuck. You have to prise them apart. And what it's made is a bit of a chewy edge of the top of the book there. So I, of course, because I used to work in the book trade, know that they might knock a bit of money off if they did that, if you went and asked about it. So I did go and say, look, this book, really want it. You don't have another copy of it, but it's not quite right. I'm going to have to prise some of the pages apart. Could you either take some money off it for me? And she did. She took £4 off it. So this was $10.99. Bit of a bargain. So I jumped at the opportunity doing that one. So that's why I bought it rather in paperback form rather than buy it on through Kindle or something like whatever it is. Now Kindle's changed, hasn't it? You can't just go onto the Kindle app, and you've got to go in through Amazon to get it now, haven't you? I didn't realise that until I went to buy a book the other day on it. But yeah, these kind of books I just like to have on the shelves rather than just on Kindle. And I like to sit and read them rather than scroll through a screen. I spend the whole my life scrolling through screens. So to actually sit and read a book is a bit of a treat. So that's why I bought it there. So that was my last thing. So altogether, I'm not going to say, but it wasn't a massive amount of money that I spent over the two shops. But it was on stuff that I wanted. I didn't go in just on a whim and thought, I'm just grabbing stuff off the shelves. It was stuff that I had thought about, and there were a few bits I picked up and thought, do you know what, I'm going to put that back. I've got a birthday coming up next month. I'll put stuff on my wish list and maybe get that for if I'm lucky enough for my birthday. So I was quite cautious, but the bits like the incense was stuff that I really, really wanted, and I know that I wouldn't be able to get it unless I went down to Glastonbury or ordered it and paid for the postage and packing that way. And of course, I wanted to sample the smells of the incense, which you can't really do on a website. So that was the idea behind it. So that's the haul. That's what I got. And I think I did all right. And I've got stuff that is just stuff that really I either needed, like the wax or the incense, or books that I'm going to be reading certainly over the summer and will develop me a bit further, perhaps in my interests, rather than just just buying something randomly. So that was it, and it was a real pleasure. It was just really, really nice to go and spend some time buying bits and pieces, but also being a sort of bit of a tourist. I like going to places I've never been before and just sort of soaking up the atmosphere, finding good pubs to have some good food in, finding different shops. That's the interesting thing, is that you just go and see different shops. In these places, they often have little art shops or little artisan shops. You get some really nice stuff in there, rather than just all the mainstream stuff that we seem to have on our high streets the whole time. So that was it. So I'm just going to catch up with people. Beth says, I'm making chocolate and Irish cream coffee with my nectar. Sensory overload. Absolutely, Beth. Well, fantastic. You deserve it. Enjoy. Beth says, I never go anywhere without my dog. I think I need professional help. Ooh, that looks good. It all looks good. Yeah. Now that's something I can fully support, Beth. Chocolate Irish cream coffee. Yum. Giselle. Sorry, Richard. No, I'm not. It's something I'm really interested in, something I would possibly contemplate studying later on, or when I've got time. And I know that sounds like a really good excuse, but I only have the opportunity to read and do stuff when I'm on school holidays. The rest of the time as a teacher, my evenings are often taken up marking or planning, or if I'm honest, just plain knackered to actually do anything. So the holidays are when I tend to get off my backside and do stuff. And so if I was to do something like a Druid course, or to start to understand it a bit more, I want to give it the time that it should do and not feel like I have to. I'll tell you a good example. I'm doing the Wildwood, a year in the Wildwood, and I'm enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying it trying to fit it in to everything else I have to do in a week or monthly basis. And that automatically takes the pleasure away from it, because it's a bit like, I've got to do my study for this week otherwise. And I'm very much right, I have to do it there and then. I can't think, I can put it off for a week or so, because that will never happen. So, Giselle, I hope that's answered your question. It's something I'd be very interested in doing when I've got the time. It is. Thank you. Yeah. And reading as the last leaf for. I don't know that one. Hopefully it's good. Well, you are Satan, Simon. Hardly the first time you've been thrown under the bus. Occupational hazard. Charming. Beth, it will be like a gentle walk through a springwood. And nibbling on chocolate. I've got so many Easter eggs to eat. Now, that's not a problem, apart from the fact that I'm a chocolate monster. And once I start, I can't stop. And Callie says, I think Jamie's a druid. I'm not sure, actually. I'll ask her next time. I am loving the Wildwood, and I did start the Druid path, but it wasn't the right time. You're very welcome, and thank you for saying that, because that's very what I'm cautious of, is finding the right time to do anything like this. I'm very much a person who, once I start something, I can put it down, pick it up, but I often don't get to the end of it. So to do something like Wildwood, or to do a course, or studying something else, I want to make sure I invest the understanding in it beforehand, and not just jump on it and then fail or not finish it that way. I've done that enough times. For example, I've been doing a lot of wood, of making wands from different trees and wood and sticks and stuff, and whittling them. And I'm also learning doing stuff with what they call it, pyrographing, when you're burning it into it. And I've been doing that this last week. But I'm very conscious of the fact I needed to get it finished, because if I didn't get it finished, the thing would now then sit there for 6, 8, 10 weeks unfinished before I picked it up again. So yeah. So there we go. Halfway through it, I just mentioned it in my vlog. Is that the book? I missed it. It's up here somewhere. So there we go, folks. Is it a show series on you that you're doing with the world? No. Well, yes. I'm together with a group of people, or she, probably not all she. She's put together this group. We talked about it, or she, myself, some other people, April, Gerald as well, about studying the wildwood. She's put together, she's taken the lead on this and put together a Discord, um, and I think a Facebook page as well. Um, so I can give you the details if you want to. We're going to do regular, I'm going to say regular, we're going to do a couple of months. Once we studied it, we'll do a sort of touching base together study video, but we're not going to do a regular weekly or fortnightly one because in fact, we haven't got enough time to do all that one in there. But yeah, we're going to be doing a catch up in a couple of weeks' time, actually, I think, about it once we've hit Beltane and done the first quarter of the Wildwood study there. Which reminds me, I've got to go and finish it this afternoon. There's bits on there that I haven't quite got around to doing. So again, it's something that, oh, I've got to go and do it. And of course, it shouldn't be like that. It's, oh, great, I'm going to be studying the Wildwood. But with me, it's very much, oh, I've got to go and do that now. So there we go. Yeah, Jamie is wandering Mountain Bardic Path. There you go. As the Last Leaf Falls, written by Druid, and it presents a guide to death. Oh, fantastic. I didn't know about that one. Explores 3 chaotic realms of existence. Fantastic. Yeah, Orshi. Yeah. Love Orshi. She is a lovely soul. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. But, you know, you can come in at any time. It's on the Discord. As I said, I think it's called Discord, isn't it? So perhaps message Orshi. She'll send you the details on how to do it there. Yeah. It does sound fascinating. Yeah. I really wondered about the book a year. That is basically what we're following. Gerald, I know, has bought it. Orshi has bought it. What we're doing is doing prompts on it, but I haven't bought it. And what I'm doing is all the different days or weeks or periods when certain studies should be done by. We're told, or she's put together the weeks when you're studying which card and whatever. And I'm just doing it that way. Quite honestly, I haven't got time to read all the books and all the stuff on it. I'm using the Wildwood, the book that came with the deck itself, plus a few prompts. Plus there is Wildwood, a couple of Wildwood Facebook groups as well. So just between those, I've been going through it all. So I haven't perhaps gone into it quite as much depth as other people have, but it's enough to actually have maybe pick the deck up and start to use it, and done quite a lot of journaling. I know I'm not normally a journaler, so to actually be journaling about these cards is quite exciting, and something that I've enjoyed doing. So yeah. I gave up Facebook. I might have to react to it. I don't blame you for giving up Facebook sometimes. You're quite right. It is a special deck there. It's a deck that has sat on my shelf for a very long time, and I've never got around to properly using it. So to actually give it a year to work is brilliant. And I will keep going at it. I'm just finding that at the moment we're studying the suit of bows, which is the sword deck, the sword suit. And it's quite a plod for me to get through that. So I'm sure when we get to the cups or one of the other ones, sorry, arrows, it's not bows, you know, it will be totally different. Absolutely. Yeah. I just didn't want to buy another book. Apparently that's the right one to do. If you're going to buy the one, The Year in the Wildwood is the one to go to. Yeah. Oh, bye, Sandra. Lovely to see you, my lovely. I hope you're doing well. So take care. I worry I'm missing out on some interesting study groups. I know, FOMO. That's why I just pick one or two to go for. And again, this is quite nice because you do your own study, and then every few months, I suppose, we catch up with one another and talk about stuff. And I can't remember if we've arranged a date yet for it. So yeah. Right then, so I am going to say fond farewell to you all, and thank you for joining me. Hopefully, I've had a few weeks of kind of not being on my normal Friday because of bank holidays or things happening. But I hopefully am now back to my Fridays. So let's see what we've got coming up. Gosh, you can tell my diary is really behind. Next Friday, 21st of April, at 7 o'clock, I'm talking Marchetti decks with our lovely Gerald. We've got a few Marchetti decks. We haven't got the whole spectrum of Marchetti decks, but we're just going to kind of have a look and pull a few out and find some favourites and kind of discuss them in a positive way. I've been quite negative in the past about Marchetti decks, so I'm very conscious I want to write that one and try and get on to doing some positive Marchetti readings. There would be really, really nice. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. You're very, very welcome. And Giselle, you're doing fantastic. It's lovely to see you here. So that's brilliant. I really appreciate you being here. Yeah. Absolutely. Giro. Seeing the treasures. Being great fun in the afternoon too. Absolutely. Yeah. You're very welcome. It's lovely to have everyone here. I've only got one of his decks. Do you know what? That's going to be one of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to try and whittle down what would be our one deck we would keep. So, yeah. Thanks for the reminder. I'll bury my credit card before Friday. Well, we're just going to have a conversation about the stuff we've got. I've probably got, 4 or 5 Marchetti decks, most of which I've never used. So I just want to kind of reaffirm some positivity back into it. Absolutely. Bye to everyone. Thank you all for watching. Take care, and I'll see you hopefully next Friday with 7 o'clock with Gerald as usual. So take care to then, and bye.